You wake up Monday morning and check your bank account. The promotion went through. Your salary jumped from $72,000 to $85,000 a year, $13,000 more. On paper, this is the moment everything changes. You tell yourself this is it. This is when you finally get ahead. But here's what actually happens. 6 months later, you're checking that same bank account, and somehow, you feel exactly as broke as you did before. Maybe even more stressed. The money came. The money left, and you have no idea where it went. Let me introduce you to Marcus. He's 34 years old. He works in tech sales, and last year he got the promotion he'd been chasing for 3 years. His salary went from $72,000 to $85,000 a year, $13,000 more. When you break that down, it's about $1,083 more per month before taxes. After taxes, it's closer to $700. Marcus thought $700 extra a month would change everything. He'd finally build that emergency fund. He'd max out his retirement account. He'd stop living paycheck to paycheck. That's what he told himself. Here's what Marcus actually did. Within 2 weeks of getting that promotion, he upgraded his apartment. His old place was fine, $850 a month for a 1-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. But now that he was making more money, he felt like he deserved better. He moved into a nicer building, $1,200 a month, $350 more. Then he bought a car. His old car worked perfectly fine, but it was 7 years old and didn't quite match his new title. He financed a new one, $450 a month. Before the promotion, he didn't have a car payment. Now he does. Then there were the smaller things. The things that don't feel like decisions but add up faster than you realize. He started going out more. Dinners that used to be $20 became $40 because now he could afford the nicer restaurants. His wardrobe upgraded. His weekend trips became more frequent. He wasn't being reckless. He was just living at the level that felt appropriate for someone making $85,000 a year instead of $72,000. Every single upgrade felt justified. Every single expense felt reasonable, and that's exactly how the system works. Here's where it gets darker. Marcus didn't even realize what was happening until he sat down 6 months after the promotion and looked at his bank account. He was making $13,000 more per year, but his expenses had increased by $14,000. He wasn't just back where he started. He was actually worse off. The rent increase alone ate half of his raise. The car payment ate the other half. And all those little upgrades, the restaurants, the clothes, the trips, those pushed him into the red. Marcus got a $13,000 raise and somehow ended up with less money than before. This isn't a story about Marcus being bad with money. This is a story about a phenomenon that economists call lifestyle inflation, but I call it the raise trap. And it's one of the most effective tools the system has to keep you productive but not wealthy. Let me explain exactly how this works. When you get a raise, your brain doesn't process it as extra money to save or invest. Your brain processes it as permission to spend more. You've been working hard, you've been disciplined, you've been living below your means. Now you're making more money, and your brain says you've earned the right to live a little better. And that feeling, that sense of permission, is precisely what keeps you stuck. The system doesn't force you to spend your raise. It doesn't have to. It just makes sure that the moment you start making more money, there are 1,000 perfectly reasonable ways to spend it. A nicer apartment isn't a luxury. It's an upgrade you deserve. A newer car isn't frivolous. It's a smart investment in reliability. Better clothes, nicer dinners, more frequent vacations, none of these things feel excessive in the moment. They feel like the natural next step for someone at your income level. And that's the trap. Every time your income goes up, your lifestyle quietly expands to match it. You're not building wealth. You're just increasing your expenses at the same rate as your income. Sometimes faster. Let me show you what this looks like in numbers. Marcus made $72,000 before the promotion. After taxes, that's about $4,500 per month. His expenses were $4,200. He was saving $300 a month. Not much, but something. Then he got the promotion. His new salary is $85,000. After taxes, that's about $5,200 per month, $700 more. But his expenses are now $5,400 per month. He's not saving $300 a month anymore. He's going $200 into debt every single month. The raise didn't help him. It buried him. Now here's what makes this truly insidious. Marcus doesn't feel like he's overspending. He's not buying luxury watches or taking trips to Europe every month. He upgraded his apartment from decent to nice. He got a reliable car. He's eating at restaurants that aren't fast food but aren't fine dining either. Every single expense, when you look at it individually, seems completely reasonable. But when you add them all up, they exceed his income. And because each expense came gradually, one after the other, he never felt the full weight of what was happening. By the time he realized he was going backwards, it was too late. He'd already signed the lease. He'd already financed the car. He'd already adjusted his lifestyle to match his new salary. And now going back feels like failure. This is how the raise trap works. It doesn't steal your money through one big decision. It fragments your raise across a dozen small upgrades that all feel justified in the moment. And the system is designed to make this happen. Every time you make more money, you get bombarded with targeted ads for things you can now afford. Your credit limit goes up automatically. Landlords know your salary range and price apartments accordingly. Car dealerships know exactly what monthly payment you can handle based on your income. The entire economy is calibrated to absorb your raise before you even have a chance to save it. But here's the thing most people miss. The wealthy don't fall into this trap, not because they're smarter or more disciplined, but because they understand a fundamental rule that nobody teaches you. Your lifestyle should not expand at the same rate as your income. When wealthy people get a raise, they don't ask, "What can I afford now?" They ask, "How much of this can I invest?" When Marcus got his $13,000 raise, he could have kept his lifestyle exactly the same and invested that entire $700 a month. Over 20 years at an average return of 8%, that would have been $340,000. Instead, he upgraded his lifestyle, and now he's going $200 backwards every month. That's a swing of $900. Over 20 years, that's not just the $340,000 he didn't invest. It's also the debt he's accumulating at 20% interest. Let me tell you about someone who did it differently. Her name is Jessica. She's 31 years old, and 3 years ago she got a promotion that increased her salary from $65,000 to $78,000 a year. $13,000 more. Almost the exact same raise as Marcus. But Jessica did something different. When she got that raise, she didn't change a single thing about her lifestyle. Not her apartment, not her car, not her spending habits. She kept living like someone who made $65,000. And she took that entire raise, every single dollar of it after taxes, and set up an automatic transfer to her investment account. She never even saw the money hit her checking account. 3 years later, Jessica has $68,000 invested. Marcus has negative $14,000 in credit card debt and no investments. They got the same raise. They're both smart, hard-working people. But Jessica understood something Marcus didn't. A raise is not permission to spend more. A raise is an opportunity to build wealth faster. And the difference between those two mindsets is the difference between financial freedom and financial stress. Now here's what you need to understand. This isn't about blaming Marcus or celebrating Jessica. This is about recognizing that the system is designed to capture your raise before you even realize what's happening. Every advertisement you see, every email about upgrading your subscription, every credit card offer with a higher limit, these aren't coincidences. They're targeting you because the system knows you just got a raise. And the goal is to make sure that money gets spent, not saved. Because when you spend your raise, you stay exactly where you are. Productive. Working. Dependent on your next paycheck. When you invest your raise, you start building the kind of wealth that eventually gives you options. And options are dangerous to a system that needs you to keep working. So here's what you do. First, when you get a raise, pretend you didn't. Don't tell yourself you can afford more now. Tell yourself, this is a chance to catch up on everything you've been delaying. Max out your retirement account first. Build your emergency fund to 6 months of expenses. Pay off high-interest debt. Only after you've done all of that should you even consider lifestyle upgrades. And when you do upgrade, do it slowly and intentionally. Not because you can afford it, but because you've decided it's worth it. Second, set up automatic transfers the day your raise goes into effect. If you wait even one paycheck cycle, you'll start spending that money without realizing it. Your brain will adjust to seeing the higher number in your checking account, and suddenly, that money feels like it's yours to spend. Automate it immediately. Send it to investments, savings, or debt payoff before you have a chance to rationalize spending it. Make the decision once when you're clear-headed and motivated. Don't make it every month when you're tired and scrolling through Instagram ads. Third, track your expenses for 3 months after every raise. This is the only way to see lifestyle inflation in real time. You won't notice yourself spending $40 on dinner instead of $20. You won't notice subscribing to 2 new services at $10 a month each. But when you look at your total spending at the end of the month, you'll see it. And if your expenses have increased by more than half of your after-tax raise, you know you're falling into the trap. Course correct immediately. Cancel the subscriptions you added. Go back to the cheaper restaurants. Reset your lifestyle before it becomes your new baseline. The raise trap is real. It's sophisticated. And it works on almost everyone because it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like you're finally living the life you've earned. But here's the truth. The life you've earned isn't a nicer apartment or a newer car. The life you've earned is financial security. The life you've earned is the ability to take risks because you have savings. The life you've earned is not having to stress about money every time an unexpected expense comes up. And you don't get that life by spending every raise you get. You get it by investing every raise and living like your income never went up. Marcus is still working the same job, making $85,000 a year and going $200 backwards every month. Jessica is still working her job, making $78,000 a year, and she's $68,000 richer than when she started. In 10 more years, Jessica will have enough invested to quit her job if she wants to. Marcus will still be chasing his next raise, hoping it's the one that finally makes the difference. The system wants you to be Marcus. It needs you to be Marcus. Because if everyone acted like Jessica, the entire economy would collapse. Your raises would stop circulating back into rent, car payments, and consumer spending. They'd get locked up in investments, building wealth that eventually makes you financially independent. And the system cannot function if too many people become financially independent. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. When you get your next raise, are you going to let the system absorb it? Are you going to upgrade your lifestyle and stay exactly where you are? Or are you going to keep living like you did before and use that raise to build something real? The choice is yours. But now you know exactly how the trap works. And knowing how it works is the first step to not falling into it. Your next raise is either going to keep you broke or make you wealthy. It all depends on what you do in the first 30 days after it hits your account.